I would like to talk to you about human imagination and human creativity and our capacity to innovate and overcome our limits. My passion for imagination and creativity has led to a passion for technology, because I believe that technology, embodied in products made by HP and others, technology is the embodiment of human imagination. Technology is the literalization of human creativity and human intent. Technology is how we turn our minds inside out. Technology is how we extend our reach, how we extend our agency, and how we overcome our limits. This is what it means to be human. We've always done it. 100,000 years ago, in the savannas of Africa, early hominids, when we first picked up a stick to reach a fruit on a really high tree, we've been using our technologies, our tools, to extend our reach, to extend beyond our limits, para sobreponer nuestros límites con nuestras herramientas. That is what we do. As the philosopher Marshall McLuhan used to say, we build our tools, and then our tools build us. Our thoughts shape our spaces return the favor. The man-made world is a condensation of human imagination. Right now, we are inhabiting a space constructed by the mind. This screen, electricity that surrounds us, the conversation we're having, all of it, the human mind turned inside out. That is what we do with our technology. Technology is like a scaffolding. It's our second skin. It's our extended phenotype. And with this scaffolding, we extend our thoughts, our reach, and our vision. Now, we're all familiar with the term disruption, that we live in an age of disruption, of radical change, of transformation, donde se siente que cada día una nueva tecnología, una nueva invención, claro, y con eso vienen muchos riesgos. It's speeding up the speed of change, and most people don't understand why. And the reason that technology is changing so fast is because the rate of technological change is exponential, whereas our brains think linearly. So we think linearly, gradually, but technology makes exponential leaps and bounds. And there's a very, very good example to illustrate the difference between linear change, which is what our intuition is, and exponential change, which is how technology advances and why it's so hard for us sometimes to keep up. Ray Kurzweil, the famous futurist, uses this following example. If you take 30 linear steps, 30 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By step 30, you get to 30. That's linear change. 1 to 30. Okay, that's easy. But if you take the same amount of steps, and this is the key idea to understand exponential change, the same 30 steps, exponentially, instead of linearly, gets you to 1 billion. So 30 linear steps gets you to 30. 30 exponential steps gets you to 1 billion. And technology advances exponentially. That's the reason why the smartphone in your pocket today is 1 million times cheaper, 1 million times smaller, and 1,000 times more powerful than what used to be a $60 million supercomputer that was half a building in size 40 years ago. And you needed special permission to get access to it. So what used to be $60 million and half a building now fits in your pocket, and you take it for granted. In fact, this is 1,000 times more powerful than that. These kinds of exponential advances apply to everything in the information technology world. HP is no different. That's why these printers, for example, are advancing at such an exponential rate. And so once you start to understand the nature of exponential thinking, these disruptions, these transformations, instead of being scary, start to look like opportunities. Opportunities to keep reinventing, right? Opportunities to innovate, overcome, transform, transcend, and continue to redefine what it means to be human. We have literally new construction kits for what's possible on the back of these exponential trends. that have transformed the world and will continue to transform the world on the back of these exponential technologies. A young kid in Africa with a smartphone today has better communications technology than a president had 25 years ago. Literally, the tools to change the world are now in everybody's hands. Today, young, passionate individuals can achieve what only governments and corporations used to be able to achieve a couple of decades back. So how does this change our space of possibility? How does this change what it means to keep reinventing? He explicado un poquito de las implicaciones de este cambio exponencial. Now, I give this message to audiences around the world, and most people are like, okay, I get it, exponential change. We've seen that in information technology. We've seen that in computers and digital. But what about the real world? The world of flesh and concrete. Certainly that world doesn't change exponentially. Well, guess what? That world is also becoming an information technology. So for example, biotech, la biotecnología. Biotechnology means mastering the information processes of biology. Literally, biology is software. Biology is code. And just like digital code, it can be manipulated, it can be upgraded, and potentially it can be hacked. But biotechnology is now advancing. The speed at which genetic engineering, gene sequencing, our capacity to sequence our genes now, is going 3 times faster than those exponential numbers I gave you before. So the speed of genetic engineering, gene sequencing, is advancing 3 times faster than Moore's law. Think about that. People talk about medical tricorders, smartphone-sized devices in the next 10 to 20 years that can diagnose you better than 10 board-certified doctors. Devices that can monitor our health. Devices that can monitor our bodies. Computers that are blood cell-sized devices that will go in our bodies and brains, transforming us from within. Now, of course, this can extend human intelligence. This is going to redefine what it means to be human, but it will also have security concerns, hacking biology. I'm sure that HP will be front and center with that in the future. The physicist Freeman Dyson says, in the very near future, a new generation of artists will be writing genomes the way Shakespeare used to write verses. Vamos a escribir poesía como nuestra biología. It's a language. We are alphabetic all the way down, and this language, again, gives us the capacity to transform our biological matrix in the same way that digital transformed the world of computers and information technology. So you have biotech. You have nanotechnology, like nanotecnología. Nanotechnology allows us to pattern atoms, the building blocks of the physical world, the same way we pattern ones and zeros in digital. So imagine the way that we can create worlds out of digital technology using just ones and zeros. With nanotech, we're doing that, but with atoms. So the physical world that's all around us becomes a programmable medium, becomes a new canvas for our creativity. We're talking about software that writes its own hardware. This already exists in nature. A seed from a tree is an information file. You put the seed in the dirt and it instructs the matter around it to turn into a tree. Nanotechnology will permit us to do that. Buildings that self-assemble. Printing food that constructs itself in front of us. And nanotechnology is also advancing exponentially. So you have these 3 overlapping revolutions. GNR, genetics, nanotechnology, and robotics. Robotics, artificial intelligence, whether it's virtual assistants, non-biological minds, non-biological thinking, that of course is advancing exponentially now to assist us and augment us and expand and redefine what it is to be a thinking mind. So between biotech, nanotech, and artificial intelligence, you have 3 revolutions that are coinciding with one another that are promising to essentially transform humanity in the same way as the emergence of language transformed us from a grunting ape to a species that could imagine and transform the world. Again, how does that apply to what we do today, every single day, when we go to work, when we solve problems, when we seek out to think more innovatively about the day-to-day? And the writer Steven Johnson has a great book called Where Good Ideas Come From, a natural history of innovation, una historia natural de la innovación. And in that book, he introduces the concept of the adjacent possible. The adjacent possible is what exists in the perimeters of possibility, on the outskirts of the possible. And he describes the adjacent possible as a shadow from the future that hovers over the present and provides a map of all the ways in which the present can reinvent itself. So the adjacent possible is like a lens that you wear so that you don't look at things as they are, but you look at things in all the ways that they could be. You look at the ways in which things can be transformed, remixed, upgraded. And this kind of thinking is hugely pivotal, right? As they say, once a mind is stretched by a new idea, it never returns to its original position. So we need to start thinking about the adjacent possible, right? How to remember that everything good and great begins at the edge of our comfort zone. It's good to be uncomfortable. It's good to be challenged. It's good to keep reinventing. This is a key message I want to leave you guys with, is this notion of the adjacent possible and the perimeters of possibility. And to probe the perimeters of possibility and to see these disruptions and these emerging technologies not as scary, but as unique opportunities for transformation, then it raises the question, how can we use these tools to positively impact humanity? How can we use these tools to make a positive impact on the world? And a while back I came across this wonderful idea from Peter Diamandis, one of the co-founders of Singularity University, which is an organization that's helping people to think exponentially. Es una universidad que se enfoca en explicarle a las personas lo importante que es pensar exponencialmente cuando pensamos en la innovación, la tecnología, la imaginación y el futuro de la humanidad. Y de ahí salió esta idea. Podemos redefinir el concepto de billonario para el siglo XXI. Porque antes se decía, todo el mundo quiere ser successful, todo el mundo quiere tener dinero y estatus y prestigio. Y entonces la aspiración de la gente es, bueno, yo quiero ser millonario, yo quiero ser billonario, lo que sea. To redefine this term, however, en redefinir este término, es decir, que hoy en día, on the back of these exponential technologies, to be a billionaire is to positively affect the lives of a billion people. That is the new definition of billionaire. Si tú eres billonario, es porque tú has creado o has facilitado una innovación que ha afectado positivamente al menos 1 billón de personas. Me pareció una campaña espectacular. I love the concept. I was like, that's nothing more beautiful to frame technology as a means through which somebody with passion can create something in the world, can reinvent something in the world that positively touches 1 billion people. There was a Bill Clinton cover story in Time magazine called A Case for Optimism, un caso para el optimismo, in which he cited a United Nations Development Fund essay, paper, study, that said that the cell phone, just the cell phone, the ordinary cell phone, was the greatest invention in history to pull people out of poverty. And that was just the cell phone. What new technologies might emerge that will further impact humanity in a positive way? So I decided to make a video about this concept of redefining the billionaire in the age of reinventing technology. And I decided to shoot the video with a smartphone because I wanted to show that our smartphones are now tools that allow us to create messages that can ripple across the world and positively inspire 1 billion people potentially. We must see the world through the eyes of a child. We must see the world as if anything is possible. And I think this is the message I want to leave you with today. The importance, again, of questioning dogma, of always being willing to probe faster, to see every challenge and difficulty as a unique opportunity for transformation, reinvention, and imagination. Espero que se hayan inspirado un poquito pensando en la innovación, el futuro y los cambios exponenciales que van a transformar el mundo. Muchísimas gracias a HP. Let's keep reinventing and maintaining this important security as these new challenges emerge. Also, the Imaginary Foundation hace estas playeras espectaculares and we're gifting all of you guys a shirt, so be on the lookout for that. Yes. So thank you very much, guys. Muchísimas gracias.